Насколько русское вино становится лучше за последние 5 лет, 10 лет, сколько вот тот период времени, который вы отслеживаете?
Okay. I first came in 2002 to start working at Miskhako, and at that stage there was virtually zero modernization of any Russian winery, apart from, with the exception of the Chateau lе-Grand Vostok, which was just beginning, and they were seriously looking at high quality wines. The equipment in those days was very rudimentary, 50-year-old Soviet equipment. Most wines were very oxidized, which means a high level of dissolved oxygen in the wine, really quite poor in quality. Since then, and especially in the last 3 or 4 years, there's been rapid improvement in the technology and the understanding of making wines which are more commercially, more Western driven, if you like, sort of wines which can be appreciated by anybody in the world without winemaking fault. Is exponential. It's getting better and better every year, and it's increasing.
And now you do you enjoy tasting Russian wine now?
Yes, very much. I mean, I'm involved. I'm a winemaker, as you know, and technologically involved, and that's what I do. I love tasting wine and making wine and making it better. But now we are making Russian wine without fault. It's becoming more and more interesting, the different regions and how they perform. For instance, in the Tuman region, I think with the more vigorous soils, you can see that Sauvignon Blanc and Pinot Noir are better in that region, say, than Novorossiysk, which is much hotter and much more draining soils. Whereas here in Villa Victoria, in Leninsky Put, it's somewhere in between. Very good draining soils, and we feel here it's going to be very good for Chardonnay in particular. So now the wines have got less fault in them. It's becoming more interesting as to the terroir, which regions of southern Russia are better for which varieties.
What do you think about local kinds of wine? Krasnostop?
Yeah, I think Krasnostop is very interesting, and certainly le-Grand Vostok using Krasnostop very well. Semlansky Chorny, I think, is interesting, and there's been some DNA research on that. Apparently it's closely related to Cabernet Franc, although I don't see any Cabernet Franc characters in it. Separavi, I know, is not traditional Russian, but coming from Georgia, but that's also showing very good and can be used as a Russian type variety. I don't think much of Rakatsateli, and I'm not sure about the autonomous, the grape varieties when they're grown in Rostov, in the very cold climate and in the winters. I think maybe the ones I've tasted from down here are better.